Hello everyone, welcome to the next lecture for placement interview questions on C programming. I'm RVD and let's move on to the topic for the current lecture or the current video. So in this, as I told you in the previous video during types of constants, that will be elaborating on character constants in more detail. So in this particular video, we will have more explanation or elaboration on character constants. So the question says how character constants are represented in C. Fine, so let's move on. So first of all, types of character constants. Character constants can also be further divided. So they can be represented, all of you know that character constants can be represented within a single quote. So ideally, within this single quote, we expect only one character to be present. And if that happens, then they are being called as single character constants. Okay, so as I said, there are two types. The first one is single character constant, where within the single quote, I'll expect only one character to be present. But there are exceptions. If at all you have the first character of your within a single quote as a backslash, then I can have one more letter allowed, one more character allowed, again for some few cases, and then that type of character constants can be called as backslash character constants. Fine. So in all, you can see there are two types of character constants: single character constant and backslash character constants. And let's see what are they. So single character constants. Obviously, in case of single character constants, you will always have within a single quote only one or a single character. Okay, so if at all you see or you look at the example, okay, yeah. So if you look at the example, maybe a single quote I can have A, okay, a single quote I can have R, even a single digit can be there. But if at all I put something like this, then that is invalid. Okay, so I cannot have more than one character, and that's the general rule in a single character constant. Fine, so these are the typical examples. We even can have digits. So we can have single digits, digit integers can also be represented as character constants. The only thing is that they must be kept within a single quote for that. Okay. On the other hand, we have a backslash character constants. So what is a backslash character constant? See, if the first character within a quote, when we start a quote, if it is a backslash character, then one more character is allowed in some cases. Like all characters we cannot put along with backslash. There are certain exceptions which are there. So such character constants are called backslash character constants. Okay, so let's look at the example. See, so maybe typically /0, which all of you know, it's called as a null character. /t, which is a tab character. Okay, you can see, so it has to be this way. The first one is slash, the other one is t. It has got a different meaning. This /0, /t or /n, which is obviously a new line character. They are also called as non-graphical characters because you cannot see, you cannot print them on the screen, but their effect will be visible. /0, as maybe when we learn strings, you will know that it acts as a delimiter for the string. /t is a tab. So when we put a tab, it obviously leaves 8 spaces together. /n will make the cursor to go on the new line. So they are called non-graphical characters, or they are also called as escape sequences. You should know about all these terms. So if you talk about escape sequences or non-graphical characters, okay, they are the one which cannot be printed. Okay. Now quote, which actually being used for representing a character, how do I represent that as a character? Now if I just put it in the single quote like this, it might be difficult to understand. So what we do, we obviously put a slash and then quote, which is considered as a single quote. Similarly for double quote, slash and a double quote is considered as a double quote. And if at all I want slash only to be represented, I have to put slash along with slash. That will be taken as a backslash. Fine, so all these are nothing but again escape sequences because they are escaping the normal flow and they are obviously allowing us to represent a control character as a normal character. Because otherwise quote is a control character which is used for delimiting the character constants. It's to start and end the character constant. But how do I represent a quote itself as a character constant? So that's the answer. Same with double quotes and same with the backslash itself, which helps in rather representing the other characters. Fine, so they are nothing but the backslash character constants. Okay, let's look at some of the typical ASCII value. So how do I represent, okay, your character constants in memory? You know, your character constants are represented in memory using their ASCII value. You know, ASCII is American Standard Codes for Information Interchange. So using ASCII, every character is mapped with a unique value. And if at all I want to represent that character, what gets represented in the memory is the corresponding ASCII value for it. Understood? So the size of the ASCII value is 7 bits. And that's the reason, if you observe, the character data type is being given 1 byte of memory. 1 byte is obviously 8 bits. Out of that, 7 bits are used to store the ASCII value. Fine. So that's how the overall calculation is. Now let's look at some of the typical ASCII value. Okay. So as a good programmer, at least maybe these ASCII values we should be aware of. Fine. So if you look at the first one, /0, that is a null character, it starts with 0. Okay. Or that's the first ASCII value we have, 0. /t, that is tab character, is 9. /n, new line character, is 10. I hope you know what is this. This is a blank space which has a ASCII value of 32. 0, the single digit, obviously already said single digit integers can be represented as characters. So 0 has got 48, 1 will be 49, 2 will be 50, ... so on, up to 9 it is 57. So all 0 to 9 has got their corresponding ASCII value. Capital A 65, so capital B 66, capital C 67, so on, with capital Z getting the value as 90. Small a is not immediately after capital Z, so it's not 91, so there are some other characters in between. So small a is 97, small b will be 98, small c 99, small d 100, so on, up to small z getting the value as 122. You know, you also have some values after that, because if you remember, the range of ASCII value, as we already had seen in my previous videos, is 0 to 127. But as I promised in my previous video, if you remember, I did tell you that we will later on see about ASCII values, and we'll see that all the ASCII values would be within the range 0 to 127. And we can see that that is getting proved. Fine. So all the characters are having ASCII values within this range. And that's the reason 7 bits are sufficient for storing the ASCII value. So whenever you see 8 bit, the last sign bit is a don't care bit. So that finally, or what generally it stores, is 0. And this remaining 7 bits are obviously capable of storing any value between 0 to 127. Fine. So these are the typical ASCII values. As I said, as a good programmer, one should know. Fine. So, and that's about the detailing of the character constants. I hope you understood, okay, how exactly the characters are represented. Before that, 2 types of character constants, that is a single character constant and backslash character constant. Then we had seen how they are being represented in memory using their ASCII value, and we have seen ASCII values of some typical characters. Okay, you obviously can write a small program where you can print all from 0 to 127 characters along with their ASCII value to obviously have a good chart with you for any ASCII value. We can even have a program where you give the character and the program will give its ASCII value, possible. Okay, as maybe we'll go further, we'll complete the fundamentals, and when we'll have some small programs, maybe some programs of this particular type can also be done very easily. Fine. So that was about the whole explanation of character constants provided in C. Fine. So that's it for this video. Thank you and happy learning.